105.9 The Region, everywhere you are.
Bruce Springsteen, 105.9 The Region at 3:15. I'm Shaliza Backus with you. Happy Friday and Friday afternoon. You know what that means. It's a Friday fun day, which, by the way, we do have a giveaway up for grabs on our website at 1059theregion.com, as well as our Instagram at the 905 Region. But for now, it is time for another artist spotlight, and we say good afternoon to Kaleb Hikele. I got that right?
You got it right.
I love that. Thank you so much for joining us. How are you?
I'm good. I just got off the road driving from home, Riverdale, downtown Toronto.
Well, that must have been fun.
I can't believe that Toronto traffic let me get in the seat on time.
You got here on time. That is all that matters.
Yeah.
Give us a little bit of background information about yourself, about your music, and all of that. Tell me about yourself.
I grew up in a small town outside of London called St. Thomas, Ontario. If you don't know it, we hit Jumbo with the train. That's what we're famous for. That and being the railway capital of Canada. At 5 or 6 years old, I started playing classical piano, and then 10 years later, I was told to play guitar because I'd be cooler, and so I started playing in a punk band, and that was about 20 years ago. So I am kind of like in the back of my mind, kind of quietly celebrating like my 20th anniversary of making music and like releasing songs to people and to the world. It started with burned CDs in high school, and now it's gone all the way to Spotify. But
burned CDs, that just unlocked a memory I forgot I had.
Oh, it's like the first 7 or 8 years of my life really was that in MySpace. That's where it started, and with punk bands back at home. Moved out to Toronto in 2009 when I was 18 years old, and I became the Sun Harmonic. That was kind of my stage name for quite a while, for the last 15 years or so. But as you can tell by the magnet that I gave you there, and the merch that I have, and the vinyl record that I have on the merch table, I am going out now on tour for the first time in a very long time, since high school actually, under my real name, Kaleb Hikele.
So cool.
To let the stage name, the Sun Harmonic, become a rock and roll band with my bandmates Ian and Dave. And we're really going off in the rock and roll direction. And then I can continue to do my solo folk thing on my own, under my name.
That is great.
Yeah, kind of just fork in the road kind of moment for me. And I'm really enjoying it so far.
Well, let me just say, the guitar definitely does add to the cool factor. You walked in the door with your guitar in hand. I'm like, yeah, this guy's cool. This guy means business. And we're going to chat more with you coming up this afternoon. But we do have one of your songs here, Mind Like a Radio.
Oh, cool.
Which is very fitting, I feel. So tell us a little bit about this song.
Yeah, I woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning with a song stuck in my head. And the song was about a song being stuck in your head. It was the idea that if you have a tune that you can't get out of your head, you might as well just kind of keep singing it. But what do you do to get it out of your head? And that it's an experience that everyone has. But I turned it into almost like the theme of the album. So the album actually is called My Mind is Like a Radio. And the song was the first song that I wrote, and then over the next 2 weeks or so, I ended up writing every other song on the record like that. Every song was written in my head while I was working, for the most part. This one was while I was sleeping at 4 o'clock in the morning. So it took me about 2 hours to lie in bed and try and get back to sleep before my alarm went off and I went off to work. And then at work that day, I wrote another song, the next song on the album actually, and then from there, the whole album just kind of came together as songs getting stuck in my head without an instrument in my hand, just singing tunes, singing melodies in my head, writing them, and then going back home and going, okay, well, let's write the lyrics down. Let's pick up a guitar and figure out what the chords are that I have in my head. The melody is there, but I need to figure out how to ground it. So this song was the first song that I recorded as well for the album, and I recorded it in one day. I woke up, made coffee, and started recording the drums in the morning, and by the end of the day, the song was recorded with the vocals and everything in place. It's you'll hear that it's there's some soul and R&B in it, I tried really to record it and make it a nod to Motown, which has been a very big inspiration for me for most of my life. Like I've always loved Motown, but I really dove in last year. I even went to the museum, and it kind of became like the inspiration and the jumping off point for making the entire album in that fashion. So
awesome. All right,
it's weird, but
we'll talk more about that coming up,
Sure,
more about your
sure.
inspirations and things like that. But go ahead and introduce the song for us.
yeah, this song is called Mind Like a Radio. This is the FM edition. There's an acoustic version that's the AM edition on the album. But this is the very first song on the record, and it's by Kaleb Hikele.
Here we go. Hi, I'm Shaliza back is continuing our artist spotlight. I'm back with Kaleb Hikele. How you feeling?
I'm feeling good.
And we've been having some really great conversations off the air. So let's start talking about your influences. You were talking about really loving Motown and having some R&B influences in there, which is super cool. Tell me about that.
Well, last year for my birthday, my 33rd birthday, which for any like vinyl geeks, that's the speed that a record spins around a turntable, is 33 and a third. So for my 33rd birthday, I treated myself to a tour of the Motown Museum, which kind of really like started the whole process of this album. Actually, like it was well before I started writing the album, but by the time that it came around, and I knew that I could drive all of the songs like in that direction, even though only a few of them are soul. Like there's some rock songs, there's folk songs, but they were all kind of made in that way where Motown, like Smokey Robinson would go into the studio in the morning and they would record a tune, and then by the end of the day it was done. And I had done it a few times before, like mostly for singles, not an album, so to speak, but just like a single that I made, or Christmas songs one year, where I made like 2 Christmas songs because I wanted to make a 7-inch record for Christmas. So I recorded those songs in that fashion, and it was a lot of fun. So the more and more that I did it, I realized, oh, this is actually a very interesting way of making a recording, because other than that, I will spend years on a recording. I've spent like 8 years making a double album, and I've spent, even right now, I'm working on 2 other albums that I started recording 2 years ago. And when you let them drag on, they will drag on.
Yeah.
So Motown really was like that influence on me, and the genre itself, like just the R&B side, old school R&B side of performing and doing the drums and the bass that way, and then the vocals, picturing myself like doing the Smokey Robinson thing, like doing a Temptations kind of like take. Other than that, I mean, my influences really go from I believe that you're going to be playing a song called In My Record Collection, which kind of put me on the spot in terms of like naming all of my influences. It's very limited because there's only 7 verses in the song. I could have turned that into like a 20-minute song.
Wow. Because
I have a crate of classical records of artists that I was influenced by when I was 7 years old. I loved Chopin, like piano pieces, and Beethoven is one of my biggest influences, and certain like pieces of his really changed my life, and I still listen to them constantly. And there's so many other like romantic era or impressionist era kind of composers that I love. But then I go from there to like 1930s jazz, and like there's a Billie Holiday cassette tape that I listened to a lot when I was in my early 20s that inspired so much of the way that I sing. Even though I'm like a punk rock kid at heart, and a lot of my songs I am belting, I'm singing as a rock and roll vocalist. There's a lot of points in my songs where I've tried to let myself do more of a like, and like it's me trying to be Billie Holiday. Like I love the style of recording from the 30s. Like, it sounds kind of the way that this microphone sounds in my headphones, actually, where it's like very, very, very close mic'd and very intimate vocal performance. But then just keep fast forwarding, and like I am just like such a huge punk rock and like ska, and sometimes like hard rock or even like a metal fan too. Like there are not too many genres or styles that don't make me just like dance or sing or fall in love with music. Like it's like the quality of a recording, not the like genre of a recording that gets me excited and makes me want to make recordings like that too. So I've made an entire soul album and given it like a different name, and done like a hard rock album, and I've tried to be a classical composer with a song called C Major Fermata on an album called Winter that I made, where I made like a 70-piece orchestra just by recording one piece at a time. So I
one man band for real.
And one man like orchestra like that was probably the most ambitious thing that I've tried to do. But as far as like influences go, like I have like a suitcase of influences, and I just keep putting like things into it and carrying it with me and like following it through the years. And the In My Record Collection song is a good example of that, because it's just like, it tries to name drop quite a few people or albums, or like there's a lot of things that you might catch when you hear it, but it could have kept going for a very long time.
All right, well, we got a little bit of a sample of the performance you're going to give us, which, by the way, you can stream live on our Instagram page at the 905 Region, as well as our TikTok at 1059 The Region. Kaleb Hikele, we're going to have so much more from you. This is so fun. Go ahead and introduce the song, which you say is one of your favorites.
Yeah, I think it is. It's a song called In My Record Collection. I wrote it sitting in my living room looking at my record collection and going, okay, who do I want to talk about? What crates of records and genres do I want to mention? And I could have gone on forever, but this is what I came up with, was this version. And I recorded the song actually in my living room as well. The whole thing is recorded just one piece at a time, and my dog was lying there listening and watching me record this song for like 4 hours straight, running around the room just recording all of these different things. And I hope you like it. It's called In My Record Collection by Kaleb Hikele.
Kaleb Hikele, everybody. Happy Friday. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about the songs you're going to play for us.
I'm going to play the AM edition of Mind Like Radio. The AM edition is basically when I don't have any fancy instrumentation or studio trickery, and I'm just playing the song as I wrote it. It's also a different key from the studio recording. It's the first song on the album. When you flip over the record, so basically like the first track of both sides of the vinyl is this song, but one of them is the Motown-inspired upbeat R&B version, and then the other one is just a stripped-back AM edition, much more simple acoustic, almost like a Southern blues style. The drums don't even come in until you think the song's almost over, and then it kicks off. And that's this song.
All right, here we go. Kaleb Hikele, everybody.
Woo! All right. What's up, Instagram?
And TikTok.
And TikTok. favorite songs. I'll open up my mind, you'll see these notes, can you sing along? My mind is like a radio, like a radio. My mind is like a radio, mind like a radio. Yeah.
And you're gonna keep going. He's gonna keep playing.
Yeah, let's keep going. This is a song called In My Record Collection. I got a call from Bob Dylan. He said, hey man, how you doing? I said, hey Zimmerman, I'm doing fine. Thanks for dropping me a line. I got a message from Joni. She's blue but the smile's still showing. The big yellow taxi's still rolling along. They paved it all up and it's gone. Here I am with all of my friends in my record collection. Come on by with my friends and I, spinning around having a time. So I sat down with old Tom Waits. He said, let's grab a beer for God's sakes. These dimly lit bars are a place I call home, but it's last call and leave me alone. Pop rock goes from A to Z. Jazz is beside R&B. Classical punk records, live albums too. The speakers cranking out the tunes. Here I am with all of my friends in my record collection. Come on by with my friends and I, spinning around having a time. So I paid a visit to Stevie. We hit the road to Motor City. Thank you to Barry, Smokey and the Rose. You sure cooked it up down in the hole. They were called the Funk Brothers. I thought you should know. So I start to dust off the 12 bars, spotty and muddy and a tip jar. Grandma's piano has gone out too. The ray can still light up the room. And of course, albums that are new, well, they are still paying their dues. We'll be paying our dues for a long time, I know. But let's carry on with the show. Here I am with all of my friends in my record collection. Come on by with my friends and I, spinning around having a time. Here I